Good morning, fam. My name is Paul Anderson. Well, I'm going to get right to the point because I just want to share this information with you. I'm not telling you what to do with your life or how to do it. I'm just telling you what I've learned. There's a great confusion going around. Young men in the neighborhood, especially in the hood, for a very long time have decided that ganging, slinging, is a career path. Street cred is more important than faith, honor, truth, and respect. They see some have made it in the game, or at least they think they have, and think that's the way to a good life. Selling death, inviting death, hiding in the shadows is more important than a good day's work, a warm, loving family, and a hot meal. Okay, I'm not here to stop you or judge you. I just want to share this knowledge with you. This is things you need to know. First and foremost, the game is not a game, not a movie or a comic book. The credits will not roll and you won't have a snack after the show. It is real life. If you step in, you play for keeps. More often than not, you get carried out. Yes, you get carried out. You don't walk out. Pay close attention to what's coming next because this is the truth. Please allow to share with me the facts and reality of what you are about to walk into. There are some tools and habits that you need in order to play this game. The first thing you need is no ambition. No sense in having no ambition. You're already working out your career path. That's the way you're headed. You all right with that. Nothing will mess up your plans for running the street and making a name for yourself like wanting better and working for it. Getting an education and a job that could turn into a lucrative career. Can't not be on the radar. Just want you to think about that. Seeing what the other half and working to get your piece, nah, that's not for you. If you plan on running game, then where you live is where you work. Same people, same crap, different day. More than likely is where you take your last breath. Think about that for a minute. That's not if somebody doesn't come and take it from you. The second thing you're going to need are friends, male and female, who don't care anything, and I do mean anything about you. Nothing. They don't care about you. It's what they care about. As long as the money good, the music is good, the weed is rolling, and everything is happy, they got your back. The second you get hemmed up, you're on your own. Your boy didn't change his number. Bail money? Nah. A visit? Maybe. Maybe not. Money on your book? All of a sudden, he ain't got it like that. And that young lady you hooked up with, that girl, it's not really no different. As long as you bring that loot, you got that hair bill, food bill, baby bill, phone bill, and club bill, you golden. You got a place to crash. Get caught up, and you'll be picking up your clothes at your mama's house. The benefits that you were getting on that side, they're gone. She moved or has changed her number. You got no business there anymore. If you manage to get out, all you got is child support. Last but not least, this is why I have this up here. You need a gap. You need a gun. You need a heat. You need to have your shit on you. You ain't about it, unless you got your shit on you or can get to your shit quick. Let's focus on your shit, shall we? Let's focus on that gun. If you want to play the game, here are the rules. This is a gun. It is a firearm. It is a handheld machine with gears and springs. It's made of a metal frame that houses a magazine or cylinder that holds ammunition. It's a machine made for one or two reasons only. That's to inflict injury or death. It's not a toy. The cylinder holds 5 to 6 rounds. Is a spring loaded, the trigger is spring loaded to the hammer. The hammer fires the bullet. The semi-automatic has a magazine. It is a handheld bolt action machine. The trigger fires to the hammer, to the firing pin, to the bullet. The gun, no matter what size or caliber, is designed to project, to send out small to expel small projectiles, bullets, at maximum speed. These small projectiles are designed, when they hit the desired target, to cause injury or death. Let me tell you about this gun. Along these lines, there is a serial number. That serial number is attached legally to the person who owns the gun. On each of these weapons, there is a make, a model, a caliber, and a serial number. The make and model are common. The caliber tells you what bullet fit the weapon. The reason why the serial number is so unique is because it's matched to a record in a law enforcement database. If the name on the serial number is not yours, it's an illegal firearm. That's an easy 5 years in jail. If perchance there is a body attached to that legal firearm, it was nice knowing you. You about to be out. Let's talk about the handle. Handle is the part where you hold it steady. It's not going to float and aim. You got to hold it. It's a grip that fits. If the grip don't fit your hand, you got no business holding that weapon. Guess what else that grip is? It's forensic evidence. Don't believe me? Trust me, it's forensic. They can get fingerprints off of it. And with technology today, the technology they have, they can find you on a partial fingerprint. You don't believe that? Ask somebody that's doing 25 to life how they found it. Next is the clip or cylinder. The magazine or cylinder is part of the machine that holds the ammunition that feeds them into the firing chamber. In a revolver, the bullet is fed directly into the barrel. In the semi-automatic, the magazine clip is spring-loaded and feeds around into the firing chamber. Guess what? The magazine is also known as premeditation. The prosecutor's job is to prove that when you loaded the clip and armed the weapon, you meant to shoot an intended target or injure and or kill the victim. The job is to charge and convict you to some degree of murder or manslaughter. Self-defense, maybe. Not likely. Somebody gonna get got. And the prosecutor will prove that you knew that when you loaded the gun. Then you get got. When you play the game, you better know the rules. Trigger, hammer, and firing. The trigger and hammer go hand in hand. Inside the machine, weapon, or gun, there is a series of gears and springs that attach the trigger to the hammer. When you apply 5 pounds of pressure to the firing mechanism or pull the trigger, it engages the hammer. The hammer then strikes the back of a copper jacket or strikes the firing pin in the semi-automatic that strikes the back of a copper jacket. Let that sink in. Inside the copper jacket, there is a mechanism attached to the gun, loaded with gunpowder. That's a charge. The charge will send the bullet out of the jacket through the barrel and into the air, aiming at a person or persons. The person behind the weapon can think about getting and loading and aiming the gun. Until the gun is fired, it's only a thought. You can change your mind. No harm, no foul. The shooter can unload the weapon and put the weapon away. You can walk away from the game and change your life. There may be a lot of talk around you, but the only one that can make the decision holding the gat is you. When those thoughts turn into actions, the story changes automatically and dramatically. You have to be very sure of what will happen after you fire the gun. When you take the gun, aim it out, pull the trigger, when the round leaves the casing, and searching for its intended target, for a person to land in, your life is no longer yours. Let me remind you again, when you got the game ain't no game. I'm going to say this repeatedly. The barrel is a very important part of the weapon. It's the pipe on the gun. Boom, boom. Where the bullet comes through to find the intended target of the shooter. Inside the barrel are lands and grooves. The grooves are designed to spiral the bullet in order to spin it once it leaves the front end of the gun and stay true to the intended target. The lands are markings on the bullet to identify the gun where the bullet was fired from. Inside the barrel is also forensic evidence. Those lands and grooves are forensic evidence. When the weapon is loaded and ready to fire, you are at the point of no return. Those are forensic. They will match the bullet to the gun. Up until this stage, I have given you every possible scenario. Whatever decision you make here is your decision. After the bullet leaves the barrel, your decision-making gear is limited to stay and face what comes next, or run like hell and find a way out the situation. Either way, either one of those tiers on the right, you have the right to remain silent. I strongly expect you do that. On either one of those sides, the only right you have is the right to remain silent. I suggest you exercise that right. Hot lead, hot shit, round, slug, rock, hollow point, armor pistol, 9. All of these describe the same thing. The bullet. The bullet is a small piece of lead that is loaded into the copper jacket. The jacket has gunpowder and a charging mechanism. The bullet has gone through many changes since its birth in the 10th century. However, the mission of the bullet is the same. That is to be fired from a gun of some kind and cause harm, dismemberment, or even death to an intended or sometimes unintended target. Outside of a gun stored properly, the bullet is harmless. Loaded into a weapon and fire it, well, I've already told you what's about to happen there. If you fire a weapon as part of an occupation, military, armed security, law enforcement, you may have a justifiable reason for taking that shot. If you use it for legal hunting purposes, hunting competition shooting, you're safe. If you are the legal gun owner and fire it in life or death situation, you're going to have to answer for it, but you may walk away. Now here's the rest of the story. If you're in the game, you load your shit, you send the bullet through the barrel of said shit, pulling the trigger and causing the hammer to strike the charging mechanism, then you have passed the point of no return. You ain't coming back from this one. First thing to understand is you never come back from it. These are the events and situations that will control your life the second you take that shot. First, you hit the person you're aiming for and they die. Now the bullet has ruined two families, yours and the victims. You need to know and believe that you are going to get found, you're going to get arrested. Pray that you survive the arrest, because now you are considered armed and dangerous. Then your family has to deal with the police and investigators and courts. Someone has to decide whether to bail you out, put money on your book. That's only if they got it like that. You spend time in jail or under very close supervision until a trial date. Then your friends are now suspects or witnesses. Yeah. They no longer your friends, your boys. They suspects now. They want to know how much they had to do with the situation. Then there's the trial itself. Remember that they have the gun, a witness, and forensic evidence. 9 to 1, you will be convicted. You will not be coming home for a long time. That's right. Somebody saw you. Somebody saw what you did with your shit. And before they get hemmed up, you out. The other family is equally devastated. The person you shot may live and accrue a massive hospital bill. Maybe they can afford it, maybe they can't. There's another possibility. The person you shot may go to the hospital but may not live. The other family has a hospital and a funeral to pay for. There's an empty seat at the table. Parents missing a child, child missing a parent. Only thing left of that person is hashtag and a bitter taste in somebody's heart. Revenge and retaliation. They sit side by side. For reasons that only you know, you turned away from making good decisions to play the drug and gangster game. You're in the game now. The lead dog gave you work. You got your gat and you got to go get that motherfucker. Then you got a high. Then you got an education. Nah. Then you got a job that turned into a career and a wife and a home and a family and memories and a bucket list of adventures. No, you got caught. You took an illegal gun that cost about $500 and a bullet that costs about 30 cents. And guess what you got out the deal? 25 to life. If you get out. If you get out. The amount of time that passes, you'll never get back. You'll spend every day looking over your shoulder. You'll spend every day belonging to the system. You'll spend every day on parole or suspected of something. Your peace of mind is gone forever, because if all of that passes and you finally get free of all of that, the one thing you will never get free of is the fact that your life is in danger and you took a life. You took a life. Go to sleep with that, if you can. Think about everything I just shared with you and tell me. Still want to play the game?